Hey, it's Cortland Sutton, and you're listening to the Fantasy Footballers.
Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in.
It's a bad day to be a lawn, guys.
That's the truth. It's a Saturday edition. Lots of feedback on the lawn-related manual labor discussion we had a couple of episodes ago. Some people asked Mike and I to mow their lawns for them because we were pro-labor. Some people were with Jason, certainly. And one person said very proudly that they have a very expensive house and a yellow lawn, and they're happy and proud and be lazy with your lawn, which I find revolting.
Yeah, I mean, I find revolting, too. If you can afford that house, get some landscapers, you know what I mean? Take care of business. But you just don't do it yourself. Too bright and outside.
Well, it is Saturday. We've got our third show of the week. It's a divisional breakdown of the AFC West, wrapping up the entire AFC. And then we'll take a break. We'll do a mock draft episode next week and jump into the NFC divisional breakdowns at that point, which is going to be fun. Today's division's fun. I mean, we're in the AFC West.
It is very fun.
And so AFC West, it seems, on the surface, like maybe discussions around who will win the division seem moot at times because, it's been 9 straight years of Chiefs on top. But
yeah,
there are just a lot of very interesting teams for fantasy. And
for
good
the
teams.
NFL.
Yeah, very good teams. So that's today's show. We got some news. We got some answers around Najee Harris.
Oh, man.
Which I don't think we had talked about.
I don't know that it's a full
talked about
answer.
it on the Footcast, but we did not talk about it on the main show.
Yeah, so
the rumors were too scandalous
the problem
and unsubstantiated.
The problem is that they were rightish.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, the internet, you just say things to say things. It's another when it's mostly right and no one came out and talked about it, and we'll get to it momentarily. It's just, we'll discuss. The Ultimate Draft Kit available right now. Do not miss your chance to get in there, dominate your draft, all our sleepers, breakouts, busts, values, player projections. We've got, you can see the stats of every single player. We're making updates to those all the time. It's not some dead magazine where once it's printed, it's done. When things change, we change projections, and we adjust. And then we've got the Draft Analyzer available right now too. So lots of cool tools and resources. It has been the kind of the keystone product for the company for the last 10 years. It helps people win at their drafts, and we've got 10 years of refining that product and making it better and listening to you, the Foot Clan, and your feedback on that product. And, you communicate with our team over here and Papa Josh, and they get the bug reports over to the dev team and fix things. And, it's a living, breathing, machine that helps you win at your draft. And you can check that out at ultimatedraftkit.com. You can follow the show on Spotify, Apple. You can watch it on YouTube, youtube.com/thefantasyfootballers. Very thankful that Jason put a shirt back on this morning.
Ooh, brother, barely, right before showtime.
We did some pickleball before the show, and he felt the need to air it out, I guess is the expression.
I think he was drying it off.
I showered, and then I got out, and
you have
I
a
did not stop sweating.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I got to sit shirtless in front of a fan. I was so sweaty, like right when you pushed the intro music to this show, I took my phone out of my pocket, and that phone was drenched from my pocket.
That's scary.
Did you replace your chair?
No, I'm just the chair's gonna do what the chair's gonna do.
Ooh. It is only his chair, so
yeah.
I don't.
We're
care.
okay. It's mine. I'll
Do you
deal
ever
with it.
sit in that chair, Mike?
No.
Don't recommend it.
Different people have different slowdown speeds on the sweat after a workout. You know, some people can kind of recover
Mine's about
quickly.
2 hours.
Jason's always been like a very long after the shower sweater.
After the workout, it's not the shower that
no,
caused
but
me
even
to sweat.
like through the shower. I mean,
yes, through
like
the shower.
the shower doesn't do anything to slow it
It
down.
cleans the first layer.
How hot are you taking these showers?
No, I take a freezing cold shower.
Do you?
Yeah. I'd spend like the last 3 minutes totally cold, all the way cold. I'm a weird guy.
No, I don't think that's a weird thing to do.
I'm saying I'm weird that I can
It's
sweat
weird
through
that it doesn't
Yes.
stop you from
Yeah.
sweating. Yeah.
Have you tried the whole thing cold?
No, not really.
Uh,
Okay, well, I know what my next shower feels like.
Let's jump into that news. Let's talk about Najee and what happened.
News and notes from around the league.
It is debatable as to whether we have what would be called cold water in Arizona because you can only get it so cold through the tap.
yeah, it runs out pretty fast.
It does. Najee Harris's agent. Well, let me set the stage.
He lost an eye. That was the stage. That was the hardest thing we heard online. Was that in a 4th of July accident, something happened with Najee Harris. He injured his eye. Some people were saying he lost his eye.
And we have NFL history. Jason Pierre-Paul,
Yeah.
fireworks accident. It's Saturday, July 12th today. July 4th was a long time ago, and we heard nothing on this issue. And it was all speculative, but then you had like some of the evidence was like beat reporters were posting hearts on like Najee's posts. Mm-hmm. And we still to this day do not know the real details of how bad an injury was. But finally, yesterday, his agent came out and said he is expected to be ready to start the season after sustaining what they're calling a superficial eye injury during a fireworks mishap that sent multiple people to the hospital. So obviously, terrible thing to have happened. I don't know what happened with the NFL insiders, no reporting from his camp setting the record straight, and we don't know the severity of a superficial eye injury, but it seems like he'll be ready to play football. But it got hairy.
Yeah, it was. That was strange.
And when I say mostly right, it's like it'd be one thing if, yes, he didn't lose an eye, thank God. But he did have a fireworks 4th of July injury, and we knew about it for 7 days and no one talked about it. So hopefully he is okay. Hopefully everybody else involved in the incident is okay. But that is the latest update, because when you start hearing things about, maybe losing his career over this accident, which is what was being talked about, pretty terrifying.
Yeah, and a superficial eye injury means his eye was injured. It didn't penetrate the deep parts of the eye, but he probably did have his cornea affected. A superficial eye injury does not mean he has no eye damage. So
We're still waiting.
yes, still waiting, but
Does he get one of those cool, like, the anime scars?
if it went like
That goes across.
top down,
Like, how are those guys getting those scars in their eye? My eye is.
they squinted. I mean,
Blocked.
the knife came down,
I
and they
blocked
just
your sword
they
with
squinted.
the thinnest part of skin on my body.
yeah.
Like, how
Those
are
are
they
cool.
getting those?
They are
They
cool.
are cool.
Yeah, if I do a character creation screen in a video game, I add one of those
Yeah.
every time.
If you've got deep inset eyes, and it's just
Oh, yeah.
far
You're
enough
safer?
away, I think
That-
that's what happens.
The problem is people should be poking the eye. They shouldn't be slicing downward.
Yeah.
That's the mistake on them. All right, where are we? It's Saturday. 49ers wide receiver updates, because we need more of those. We did have a report that it's not out of the question, according to the often inaccurate San Francisco Bay reporters.
I
guess
love
that's
this report.
a little disrespectful, but we've been fooled by them over the years. But it does say it's not out of the question that Brandon Ayuk can play in week 1.
Okay.
But you know what else is not out of the question?
Well,
That he
landing
starts on the pup.
landing on the pup is still likely.
Which
You know what
means,
else is not out of the question? That Tom Brady plays quarterback this year.
Like, they are saying it's not out of the question that he plays week 1, but also he may not be allowed to play until week 5, and there's no guarantee that once he's
just-
right off of the pup that he goes right onto the field. Like, do you have any idea what's going on here? San Francisco?
I do. ACL, MCL, meniscus. Very, very unlikely he's there in week 1.
Surgery was in November. Yeah, and if he is there in week 1, do not expect him to be anywhere near full strength.
Demarcus Robinson pleaded no contest this week to a misdemeanor DUI charge, was sentenced to 3 years of probation. He also plays for the 49ers.
So he'll get a
Suspension.
So he'll get a, what is it, 4-game?
He'll get something from the league. They have not ruled on it yet, but the legal likely suspend DeMarcus Robinson. So in reality, DeMarcus Robinson and Brandon Ayuk will probably both miss the first 4 games of the 2025 season. So the Ricky Pearsall discussions and, whoever you like there in San Francisco in the wide receiver room for the first 4 weeks are going to have opportunities. And also reports that Christian McCaffrey looks healthy and, quote, so explosive.
That's from our boy Juice.
Who said that? Oh, Juszczyk said that.
No, wait.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's good.
It's not even regular explosive.
It's great to hear. It's funny because when I saw this, whatever, it's a fluff piece, but you don't want to hear that he looks bad or that he's gonna be at full strength soon. So this is good, but you combine he looks so explosive right now with the 49ers schedule. No, but I mean, I'm just thinking this is a team that is projected to win a lot of games, be up in a lot, have easy defenses. We took Christian McCaffrey in the Scotty Fish Bowl. That is a large, you got to play against thousands of people. And so
because you play to win.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the argument for Christian McCaffrey. It is not an argument that he's guaranteed to stay healthy.
Correct.
That would be a dumb argument. It makes no sense. We literally walked down the road of disappointment with Christian McCaffrey, making these exact same arguments. Everything going into the season, the argument to draft him last year was he should be fine, he looks explosive, he looks healthy. We got a million reports.
Did they say he looks explosive and looks healthy? No, genuinely, because last year it was he's injured.
Yes, that is the difference.
But
we
expect him to. No, I know. Everyone was saying he should be good to go by week 1. He should be good to go by week 1. But that's different. Like they were saying he should be good to go by week 1 because he wasn't.
Correct.
And that's on us to be like, I don't know, man. Maybe we should have had a little bit more.
We also had reports middle of the season that he was looking really good when he then missed more time due to Achilles tendonitis cropping back up.
No, that was the PCL. He came back
Well, no, I know he had the secondary injury in the Buffalo game. I'm just talking about predating that. There was a lot of anticipation about him being okay, a lot of reports about him being okay before he missed prolonged amounts of time due to the tendonitis lasting much longer than people expected. The truth of the matter
that's fair.
is he is and will not evade being an injury risk, and he is young enough on a good enough team with enough talent and versatility to win you your league. Circling back to the main point, Christian McCaffrey is a draft pick to not finish 4th. He's a draft pick to not finish 3rd. You're not taking players hoping that they're pretty good. Not everybody where Christian McCaffrey is going can put up a season that Christian McCaffrey can do, even if you throw out Josh Jacobs. Like Josh Jacobs' best season and Christian McCaffrey's best season are very, very different. So you can take Jacobs under the guise of safety, which no player is really that safe.
Yes.
So if you want to play to win the game, McCaffrey is an eligible lottery ticket that could lead you to the Scrooge McDuck vault.
I think that's the biggest takeaway, Andy, is no one's safe. No running back in the NFL is safe from injury or missing games.
Nobody's safe. But you can also avoid him if you want to, because if you don't want to go through that again, or you just went through it last year.
Yeah. And if you want to deal with it, the pain from a fresh face.
Yes.
Then just take someone else.
Pain. Yeah. If you want like a versatile, different variant pain from some other person you can hate next year, draft somebody different.
Bijan is safe and immune from injury.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to do with that statement.
He's playing 17 people. You guys are mad at me? You think I have that kind of power?
What do you mean are we mad at you? Who says stuff like that? Nobody just comes out and says that a certain player is fine when we didn't bring him up.
Matt just hit the 17 snaps.
Now you know that's going to hang over your head for every minute of this entire next calendar
year.
Happy
he's fine. I'm the one over here that's like, Christian McCaffrey's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Which side do you want to be on?
Neither of your sides. My own side. All right, we will, or maybe, I don't know, maybe Jahmyr Gibbs' side, maybe Saquon's side. I don't know. We'll go ahead and jump right in. We're going to get into our divisional breakdown right here, right now.
Let's get divisional.
No one's talking about Bijan. No one says anything about Bijan. Out of the bushes, he goes, Bijan fine for the whole year.
We weren't naming names.
No, but you said no player is safe.
Yes.
And I was letting you know there is one that is safe. Because Saquon's coming off crazy volume at 28 years old. Derrick Henry's old. Devon Achane's undersized. Jahmyr Gibbs is undersized. You got a young...
All caps, Kyle just said, I hate you, Jason.
Yeah.
Al just said, shut up, Jason.
Bijan had over 300 carries.
He's a young man built for it. He fine, not scared.
What was Breece Hall? Was he a young man built for it?
He's a little smaller.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Is he?
Of all the dumb things you've ever said on the show, that was the dumbest.
That can't
I'm
be.
looking-
That was the dumbest.
No way.
I'm looking at least the weights that are being recorded to us, Jason. Breece Hall, 5'11", 217. Bijan Robinson, 5'11", 215.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that
numbers
what he
are
said
wrong.
was
One of,
wrong.
but
after he
one of
said
those is a small
something
guy.
wrong.
One's a really big guy built for the workload.
Yeah.
Same height.
I'm going to look up their weights and tell you what the real
Why
numbers
does
are.
that matter? None of that matters.
Of course that matters.
No, you can still get hurt.
Of course you can
We're
get hurt. But it
we're
matters
playing with
whether
dark
you...
magic right now, Jason. Nothing we're talking about is rational at all.
I'm just telling you he's playing 17.
And your weight.
Yeah, you keep saying 17.
your
What,
weight and your
17 snaps?
ACL.
I'm
Go
not
look
saying what.
Go
just
look
he's
at
playing 17.
weight and ACL correlation. I'm not sure that they're together.
Would you say that Devon Achane is a bigger injury risk than Breece Hall or Derrick Henry? And if so, based on what?
Based on
Not-
his past injury.
Yeah, past injury.
Oh, really? He's gotten injured
no,
before.
listen,
I wonder why
listen,
that small
listen.
guy's gotten injured.
It's not that they don't get banged up easier. It's that I don't think there's a direct correlation to snapping a knee ligament. In fact, some of the smaller, more athletic players are the ones that turn on a dime more.
Hold on. I got to update you here. Here's Christian McCaffrey listed. 5'11", 210.
Christian McCaffrey's always been known as a slightly undersized back. Always. He came in at like 205.
When was his first injury? How old was he? I bet he was pretty young.
It was year 4 for him.
I want to sign documents making sure I'm not held responsible for what was uttered on this show
All right.
when it goes south. For
Sorry,
no
Kyle.
good reason. For no reason. We're into the AFC West. This show is about off-season changes, players that have changed teams within the division, rookies, coaches, and we'll look at the offenses. We'll look at how they can function. We'll look at our takes and the win totals and what we think is going to happen and answer some of the big questions about these 4 teams, Kansas City, Los Angeles, Denver, and Las Vegas. The Chiefs have won the AFC West 9 years in a row. In fact, if you want to make it
Kyle, what was the Patriot run?
divisional,
Yeah.
I want to say it was double digits for sure. I mean, like 11 to 13 is my guess, maybe 14.
Yeah,
Kyle will figure that out for us.
It had to be like
I think
14.
it was something like that.
Because they won when
Although there was
Brady
the-
went down.
I don't know if they won the division in the
With Castle?
year. I know they made the playoffs, I think, but I don't know if they won the division that year.
I believe they did all.
But Kyle, he's crying because of what you threw out there in the universe about
he should
Bijan
be
right
happy.
now.
He's a Falcons fan. I just let him know good news.
From
You're
2003 to 2019, they won every year except for the Castle year.
Wow.
Except for the Castle
Oh,
year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that wasn't consecutive. Kyle's told that back to us in a very...
That is
So what was the longest run in that stretch?
Kyle.
It's looking like 10.
Okay.
Okay, 11. It was 11. So you got some...
Oh, no. Brooks set NFL record 11 straight AFC
So-
East division titles.
Here's some stats around the Chiefs that are even more ridiculous. They have one AFC West loss on the road with Patrick Mahomes as a starter. He's 33-5 in the division. This one's the crazy one. Since he became the starter in 2018, the Chiefs have played in every single AFC title game and 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. So it's as good as it gets. And when we talk about the 15-2 Chiefs, last year's, they were 12-0 in one-score games.
Impossible.
And so it was kind of annoying. There were fluky games, missed field goals, blocked field goals. There were flukes. However, you're going to win more of your one-score games with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
They create their own luck.
They do.
72% win percentage in one-score games for the career for Mahomes.
So 12-0, outlier, 15 wins, too many. They were projected to win 11.5, and this year it's 11.5. And if I was Vegas, I'd make it 11.5 every year until Patrick Mahomes retires. They do have the 27th hardest schedule. Now, wait. Does that mean it's
Difficult, yes.
Goodness, that wouldn't make it the 27th hardest. That would make it like the 4th hardest, right? That's how it would work. Goodness.
Oh, man. This is a Saturday.
Yeah, so Kyle, to be clear, this is one of the worst schedules. Is that right?
It is very, very hard.
So that would be on a scale of hardest out of 32 teams, what is it?
I added hardest to help you.
But you
That's
made
not
it
you
worse.
got it incorrect. Hardest it's not the 27th hardest. That would be an easy schedule.
They have the 27th most difficult schedule.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
But you got to set
They
the
have
scale.
the 5th most difficult
Yeah.
schedule. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's
I see what you're saying.
Yes.
But
You're fired.
yeah. Can we start the show over, please?
Oh my gosh, we are not here. Jason's still sweating. He just guaranteed Bijan's healthy. We all know the Chiefs are going to win the division.
Look, their schedule might be hard. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
It's either really hard or really easy.
Oh my gosh. It's a difficult schedule. It would be the 5th hardest schedule. That's the truth.
Oh man.
They were 12th in points per game, 19th in yards per game. It was not a special offense. The defense was special. This is kind of the equation now with Kansas City is you look at them for fantasy options like you did in the past, and it's harder to find when your defense is that good. When you can manage the game and win, you went 15-2 with the 19th best yards per game offense.
Yeah, this is the opposite of the Bengals. We talked about the Bengals, and one of the reasons we like them so much is because they have good offensive pieces that are required to try to score 35 points to win. When you are up and your defense is shutting the other team down, you can run, you can dink and dunk, you can do little screens, take up a lot of clock, win the game in one-score games very easily. That was frustrating last year. They were probably the best team of all time to watch play. Like, no one enjoyed watching Chiefs games last year, and they can do it again. Well, Chiefs fans.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Don't say nobody.
Well, I'm saying that no fans of football, other than people that have a vested interest, enjoyed that brand of football. It was not enjoyable. The Bengals have a bad defense, and so they could score. So we've got to project the defense going forward. This year, they've got Chris Jones back. I think their defense is going to be basically just as good as it was last year. So they can win ugly games again.
They do play tougher teams, or so we think. And the player subtractions, no more DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Watson, P. Ryan, whatever. The additions, whatever. Juju Smith-Schuster,
Elijah Mitchell
30
maybe
going
matter.
on 50. Elijah Mitchell might not make the team. Kareem Hunt will make the team. And
the addition is Rashee Rice is back.
Rashee Rice is back from injury. That is correct. To me, I said this many, many months ago. I do believe that Isaiah Pacheco has a path to be the dominant force in the backfield. At the time we saw him come back from injury at the end of last year, he was not himself. Kareem Hunt had a big role. Kareem Hunt's a year older and a year slower. So I do think Pacheco, I'm just trying to find fantasy value on this team right now.
Yeah.
And
Pacheco's drafted late. Compared to last year, I mean, Pacheco's the running back 22. There is a path. If he is healthy, which at the end of last season, he just wasn't. He came back, he looked terrible. Kareem Hunt looked better than him. So the way that I've got it projected, because around the goal line and in the passing game, Kareem Hunt was very much involved. He was involved as much or more than Pacheco down the stretch, and they got all the way to the Super Bowl. So I can see them just re-rolling that. Kareem Hunt knows this system well. He's a great veteran. And even if Pacheco has a little bit more juice, they might trust Hunt more. I think it will be a split. But if Hunt, who wasn't explosive in his own right, a year older, and a young Pacheco a year healthier, yeah, that's the pathway for Pacheco to just come out and be the workhorse that he was for 2 weeks to start last year.
He needs it. Like Pacheco he's very fast, and in terms of like his running back skills of the way I look at it, I think he's a starting running back. I don't know that. I think that Pacheco is a real special talent, so I think he would need to get back into that
more work,
getting all that volume. But in terms of like the ADP is,
well, let me test it for you. Let me give you names that are right there.
Please do.
He's going right at the exact same spot as another running back. They're both averaging the 606. It's Isaiah Pacheco and Aaron Jones.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I might not want to answer that.
That
I'll probably take Aaron Jones.
That's a
I
tough-
think so. If you were to go wide receiver, you could go Chris Godwin or Jerry Jeudy. Would you rather have Pacheco or one of those wide receivers?
I mean, I like the value on Pacheco there versus the
Yeah.
wide receivers.
it's like when you're talking about the players, the running backs who are not being drafted. What running back number is he?
22.
Okay, so he is slightly
that's-
inside the top 24.
yeah, that's not low
But-
enough.
Andy, in the 709 over a full round later, you can get DeAndre Swift. Would you rather have Swift
Yeah, I'd
or
rather have
Pacheco?
Yeah.
Swift.
Now,
yeah.
if they were both there at the 6th
I'd
round,
still rather have Swift.
I think
I thought so too.
Yeah, no, okay. So maybe he's not as discounted. Maybe, and maybe you're going to get more of a groundswell in training camp.
And as of right this second, you've got Judkins, Henderson,
Yeah,
R.J. Harvey,
okay.
all behind him.
All right. Well, I'm sorry I brought him up.
No, it's a worthy conversation.
I was with you. I thought we were getting to the place where Pacheco was becoming more
He
interesting.
needs to fall a little bit.
And the team's always willing to trust less athletic guys to just fill the
Sure.
role. I mean, Kareem Hunt is not in peak form. Samaje Perine, not peak, has had a role before. We've had different running backs in Kansas City that just kind of, I mean, Clyde had a role.
Yeah, the question for the Chiefs is the passing game. And the passing game comes down to primarily Travis Kelce.
Does it now? Let's find out after this break.
Oh.
Sorry, we were a little late on the break, Jay. You were talking about the passing game, and that is going to come down primarily to Travis Kelce.
So Travis Kelce has always had a 24 to 700,000% market share of this offense. Even last year, now granted, Rashee Rice went down to injury, and he's still in a down year. His usage was really good, 24% of the targets last year. However, those first 3 weeks when Rashee Rice was playing, 15% of the targets, 14% of the targets, 14% of the targets. We've never seen Travis Kelce around there. The rest of the season, when Rashee Rice was gone, that's when he was up at 26% of targets the rest of the way. So I think you've got to project him first to know how much is left for Rashee Rice, for Xavier Worthy. Is it just going to be all of these guys, Hollywood Brown, and there's really no value to be here? They're not going to have to score a lot of points because of their great defense check out, or Travis Kelce takes just a demotion in the pecking order, and Rashee Rice is a star. Or Xavier Worthy, who broke out the second half of last year as a rookie, fastest man in the NFL with Patrick Mahomes. Now maybe they're talking about airing it out downfield. Who are you putting your chips on?
I'm going with Rashee Rice. Looking at the receiver room, like when Xavier Worthy finally started to make some things happen, it was over the second half of the season, and they had pulled him in closer to the line of scrimmage, at least where his targets were, and they were trying to let him do yards after catch stuff the way that Rashee Rice is. So can he but Rice is just, if Rice is healthy, he's much better at that than Worthy. So do they put Worthy back? Or I would say I'm projecting Worthy will go back to try to be a traditional wide receiver, and I don't know that he is good enough to really command a high target share in that role.
Yeah, I think roles evolve and players evolve and offenses evolve, and when you see what you had in Xavier Worthy over the back half of the year and how valuable he was, including 2 monster touchdowns in the Super Bowl on big plays. I mean, to me, Worthy's taken a step up over the back half of the year. A rookie year with 100 targets. I think all 3 of those players, I think Kelce will still have value. I mean, Kelsey's in good shape. He wants to come back and make an impact, and so
are you drafting him?
He's never gone at 6'11". I'm fine taking him there. I'm fine taking him in the late 6, early 7, and taking a shot at it.
Yeah, I mean, he could still be a touchdown machine around the red zone. He could pull an Antonio Gates. I know last year he only had 3 red zone touchdowns, but he's got that skill set.
I believe he was number 1 in targets.
All
tight ends in red
targets,
zone targets. I mean, we're talking about his down year being how many total targets did he have last year? Travis Kelce had 133 targets, 97 catches. So you get that in the 7th round with touchdown upside. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, seeing 133 targets turn into 823 yards is
Andy. I know
feels bad.
You have been Worthy over Rice through this off season, but are you really off of both players, or are you targeting Xavier Worthy, or have you switched to Rice now?
They're only a round apart, so it's hard not to go with Rice. But
Worthy's climbed that high?
Yeah, it's 408 and 5'11".
Ooh.
Wide receiver 21 and 27. I do think that both of those players project to be their ceilings to be lower teens. So, a lot of distribution. I mean, we didn't talk about Hollywood because we're not looking at him as a fantasy option, but he will be an NFL option.
Yeah, he'll be a streaming play. Someone that if you need a play off the waivers,
or I just mean to take away from Rice or Worthy on a weekly basis a little bit. There's still going to be a lot of targets in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And Rice, for all his astounding work last year, he had 3 games played, and only one of them was inside that top 15.
And he's coming off of an injury where there's, disputed. You watch these videos of him in camp, and some people are like, look how good he looks, and other people are like, he's hobbling on that knee.
So, yeah, I would say that both of them have a ceiling slightly above where they're being drafted. But it's unpredictable in Kansas City. That's the challenge with the wide receiver room. And then you talked about the defense. And so that's about where I have those guys. They start on the road against the Chargers, Philadelphia at home, the Giants on the road, and then Baltimore. So some fun games. Chargers, Philly, Baltimore.
3 out of 4 tough ones.
So, yeah, those will be entertaining. Games that you're probably going to have to score some points because those other teams are going to put some up on you. Let's talk about the Chargers. You want to do that?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, one quick final question there. Mahomes, what are you willing to do with Mahomes?
I'm willing to watch him go to someone else's team.
Yeah?
That's pretty much where I am too.
Yeah. I mean, he might be the lowest he's ever been, but I don't think he's low enough.
It is the lowest. He's been the ADP 1, 2, or 3 every year since he was starting, basically.
Right now, he's still being drafted as the 6th quarterback off the board. And, he finishes the quarterback 11, but you could say, oh, that's not bad. But he was terrible. I mean, he was an F in consistency. His good games, 23% of his games last season was, in 4-point exceeded 20 points.
What percentage chance do you give him to him and the Chiefs to revert back to the high flyers?
I think there's a 30% chance that happens, but I think the majority is, they got to the Super Bowl. They don't need to destroy this thing, tear it down, and rebuild. They just need to keep on winning.
They get there no matter what they do. It doesn't matter what style their offense is. They just get there. Chargers 11-6 last year, 4-4 in one-score games. Didn't have the amazing 12-0 run of the Chiefs. Their projected win total last year was 9. They outpaced that. It's 9.5 this year. They have a middle-of-the-pack strength of schedule, so it's kind of not going to factor into the analysis here. 13th in points per game, 20th in yards per game. They passed it. They were the 23rd ranked team in terms of passing percentage and 10th in rushing. It was what we expected for the most part from Harbaugh and Giro. But the defense was amazing. It's very similar to what Kansas City's recipe was. They were number 1 in points per game allowed on defense. But you did see a back half of the year where they trusted Justin Herbert a lot more.
A lot more.
And it correlated with Ladd McConkey evolving as a go-to target in the offense and kind of the lowering efficiency of J.K. Dobbins over the back half of the year as well. So it begs a question a little bit like, did they feel forced to put more in Herbert's hands because Dobbins' efficiency kind of collapsed?
Yes.
Right.
And then they solved for that with Najee Harris and the drafting of Amari and Hampton. And Jason, you uttered yes. Do you believe that that's kind of what happened?
Yeah, I do. If you look at J.K. Dobbins, he missed a stretch of games towards the end of last season, came out the gates on fire. Those first 2 weeks had a 61-yard run, a 43-yard run, was an explosive back, and then really took a step back. From that point forward, he was not good. 2.9 yards, 2.3 yards, 3.8, 2.9, like atrociously bad on an efficiency and explosiveness factor. And so, yeah, they pivoted away after that first month and said, well, we've got Justin Herbert. We got to win more with him. And then you go, okay, well, maybe they realized that Justin Herbert's the dude. And so they're going to come out this year and throw more just like they did the second half of last year. But what were their transactions? Their transactions were to immediately go out and sign Najee Harris and then spend their first-round pick on a running back. They want to be able to establish it. They care about winning games, and if they've got a good defense and a Harbaugh and they can run the ball, they're going to win more games. Now, Herbert's great. They also added Trey Harris, a wide receiver in the draft I love. I think he went pick 55. 55! I pushed the button. I'm not even 100% on that one.
That's why I was laughing.
But, yeah, I mean, I think this is a team that's going to run the ball more and run the ball
did,
successfully. He did? Yeah. All right.
They did add Tyler Conklin at the tight end position, Trey Harris at wide receiver, lost Joshua Palmer, and added Mike Williams back to the offense. I think balance is what they're aiming for.
Yes.
The ability to come back and win in a game they're losing, the ability to dominate with the offensive line and the running game on games that they're winning or neutral game scripts. So, can Justin Herbert return to being an elite fantasy option as a top 6 guy?
Can he? Yes. Will he? Probably not. But I've got good news, Andy. They have the 15th ranked strength of schedule. So we know no matter what, no matter how I word it, it's middle.
That's
it's
right.
Just an average schedule.
Right. 15th easiest. Also the 15th hardest.
Yeah, about there.
Yeah. Najee Harris, we talked about him in the news, but he has been an Iron Man, which is, what we have expected from him to be able to come in here and be.
Other guys would have lost an eye. Najee.
Not Najee.
No.
Because he closed the little flap.
Yeah.
The flap. That's what we call it.
We don't know what happened, so I don't want to joke about it anymore because
that's fair.
I mean, it's easy enough to be like, the fireworks thing. It's a crazy event, but let's just see how he's doing. Amari in Hampton he is currently going 3 rounds ahead of Najee. So the rookie running back that they took in the first round, who on film love him, well-rounded, does everything well, in my opinion.
I think it's a really difficult running back room because Hampton. The stats on first round running backs are they are some of the best bets in fantasy football. Najee was a first round running back, but that split of right now back of the 4th versus back of the 7th, I think that's a little too confident by the drafters that saying like it's for sure going to work out to be Hampton because he needs to be substantially better than Najee for that to work out as a good draft pick. Najee could be the starter the entire season. I think ruling that out and just putting all your chips on Hampton is not being honest to what the real situation is. I won't argue with you if you like Hampton's just such a better running back, but they immediately went and got Najee, and Najee can absorb so many carries that he will be on the field.
I think it'll be a timeshare. I do think Amarian wins out as the lead. I mean, Gus Edwards was the starter last year, and then it was like Dobbins is better. They're going to see that Najee, who is much better than a Gus Edwards, he's a good quality back, but he is not as good as Hampton. Hampton will play his way more and more onto the field. And I remember in the offseason, Mike, after the Najee Harris signing, you were talking about if they were to go out and get another running back, you could see that running back, if he's taking over by the end. And I'm curious, NFL draft scouting, you weren't as high on Hampton as Andy and I, who we love Omar and Hampton. If Travion Henderson had come here, would you be like, he's going to take over?
I think Hampton will take over. It's about the ADP of that he is where he is and Najee is where he is. That's the discrepancy that I take issue with. I think Hampton does end up becoming the starter before the end of the year. It's just at what point. Because if you're going, I mean, he's a first rounder, so this is not apples to apples. But it's like the Jonathan Taylor when he was drafted, and we all loved Jonathan Taylor. Got drafted in the second round. You're like, Marlon Mack is in front of him. You're like, Marlon Mack. And then the way it was playing out, if you drafted Jonathan Taylor, you got completely bailed out. That Marlon Mack went down to, I think it was an Achilles. I don't remember which injury it was, but it was like up till the point of the injury, Marlon Mack was the 1A. So that's all I mean of if you're going to spend a 4th on that guy, you got to be patient. You got to wait for it to happen.
It's always correlating to your belief of the talent of that player. It's one of the reasons why Jason was a stone cold lock on Breece Hall as a rookie in the face of Michael Carter. It's why you are so confident in Travion Henderson in the face of Ramondre Stevenson. And I think it's why Jason and I are more confident in Amari and Hampton, showing enough evidence that, it's always going to be a timeshare. It's just going to be how effective. Like, efficiency is very, very, high odds in this offense. You don't necessarily have to have 20 carries in Los Angeles because they are so effective on the ground. Like the games J.K. Dobbins shocked the world to start that year last year, and it was big plays, it was chunk plays. So I think it's just a matter of who's the most effective player, and does Amarian earn the trust of things like goal line, third down, and eventually the majority of the work.
Right. Oh, Mac only had 4 carries?
Yeah, that was instantaneous. We never got to see how that one played
15%
out.
15%.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I remembered that one incorrectly.
Probably remembering a little bit of camp in there.
Maybe that's what it was. A difference for me for the Henderson situation, versus this one, the Chargers, 31 out of 32 teams. They're talking running back target percentage. Greg Roman doesn't throw to his running backs. That was we're like, wait, was that a Ravens thing? Was that a Lamar Jackson thing? I think it's a Greg Roman thing. And so that if you aren't getting the bulk of the carries, there's not going to be a ton of targets to go around to this running back position. So that's where I'm more nervous about this timeshare.
Ladd McConkey at 211. You like that spot in drafts or no?
I love it.
I do not. Tie break us.
It seems expensive, but
I think bringing in Quentin Johnston, bringing in Trey Harris, having a better running game.
Are you using Huge as a reason?
I'm just saying
Ladd?
there are more.
Didn't he say
Mike Williams?
Didn't he say Mike Williams, or did he say Quentin Johnston?
He said Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, but bringing in Mike Williams, bringing in Trey Harris, bringing in a better running game. I think that
there's just some letdown potential, not like bust potential.
Not bust potential.
Just
Dude is awesome.
Slightly, does he profile to score 7 times again? Maybe. 120 targets. I think that's reasonable. I think we all have him ranked pretty high. It's just you do need to get it when you're taking him in the second round. That's all.
You need to get volume. You need to get the second half passing volume. Ladd McConkey's numbers are truly, truly elite.
It's probably not too hot to handle. It's just I have to switch hands back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
And Ladd, Ladd was down the stretch. He was so good.
And into the playoffs. Anybody else that you think is going to actually be valuable for fantasy in the passing game? Tight ends, wide receivers.
I would love to take a shot in the double-digit rounds on Trey Harris. He was a prospect I adored. I think he was my wide receiver 4 in this class behind Igbuka. And the fact that he goes to Justin Herbert on a team that really needs an outside wide receiver, I could see a path to success.
Kansas City, Las Vegas, Denver, and then the Giants to start the year. So a couple of tough home games, a couple of very winnable road games to start the season. And that's your Chargers. The Broncos, we're going to talk about them in just a second. All right, Denver was 10-7 last year. It was impressive. They had a projected win total of 5.5 before the season began. So on the last episode, talked about the Patriots, talked about their potential to jump. Vegas is predicting it a little bit more with New England. They did not predict it with Denver.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nearly doubling their win total. And it was the Bo Nix experiment gone right. I mean, the pick looks like it was a win. This year they have a projected win total of 9.5. They were 10th in points per game, which is super impressive with a rookie quarterback. They were a very good defense once again. 3rd in points per game allowed. So here we go. We got 3 of the best defenses in football for the first 3 teams we're talking about in the AFC West. And now we get to talk about fantasy football options in Denver, where they lost, and I'm putting that in quotes, they lost Javonte. They lost Zach Wilson. But they added J.K. Dobbins and Evan Ingram. Ingram, I think, is going to play a vital role. Whatever you want to say about him in fantasy, he only helps Bo Nix in this offense move it down the field. A lot of what we watched last year was, okay, Bo Nix is getting it done and Cortland Sutton is scoring touchdowns, but you really don't know who else is going to contribute on a weekly basis. And suddenly you're surprised with some big game by, Marvin Mims out of nowhere, or, Vele has a catch here and Troy Franklin, they give him a shot down the sideline. It was a little bit unpredictable, but I think Ingram will really help Bo Nix maintain stability and week-to-week consistency.
You also have a much, much improved receiving game out of the backfield. Javonte did nothing with those targets, and he had a ton of targets, and now R.J. Harvey, their rookie, is very good at the receiving game out of the backfield. J.K. Dobbins is better at this point than what we saw from last year from Javonte. And we know that Sean Payton has padded those stats of his quarterback. Drew Brees for years would always have extra yardage, extra passing touchdowns through the running backs. And so I think that's good. Bo Nix is, to me, I think he's my favorite value, my favorite target in drafts. If you look at, you cut the first month of last season off, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was his rookie year. They didn't let him throw the ball a lot. All of a sudden, there was a huge transition after the first month, and they started saying, okay, this is Bo Nix's team. From week 5 on, which is the vast majority of the season, he was the quarterback 6 in fantasy. And if you go, well, what does that mean? Jaden Daniels, through that time, scored 28.7 fantasy points per game. Bo Nix, 28.5. Is like...
He was the case of he's the opposite Caleb Williams in so many ways, where you had an amazing offensive line and structure around him and coaching that you trusted, and they allowed the least amount of pressure in football last year to the quarterback, and then you saw Bo Nix thrive. All the starters returning, should be a great offensive line again. You look at that's a huge advantage for the running game and the passing game, and also just week to week consistency. You don't have to just expect Bo Nix to go out and make something out of nothing every week. You need him to go out and execute a good offense with a good coach.
And he's going to run for 400, 500 yards on the ground. Like that's
it's very weird to have a division where, okay, one team has won 9 in a row, but I can easily see 2 other teams winning the division.
Yep.
And that's how I feel about Denver and Los Angeles.
I agree.
So, fantasy-wise, R.J. Harvey, second-round pick, who they had their eyes on. Very, very good collegiate player. I believe he was number 2 behind Genty in, some very impressive dominator metrics. It's going to be an experiment as to who gets what work. We just talked about it. Harvey, Dobbins, McLaughlin. There will be some sort of committee, but the team should win a lot of games. We love that for running backs. Even if J.K. Dobbins is the starter, let's pretend that report, that rumor, that speculation is confirmed. Even if he's the starter, we saw at this juncture of his career a huge reduction in efficiency over the back half of the year. We also saw Sean Payton willing to move it around and change to what works last year. We got Tyler Bidet weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the Dobbins conversation isn't just maybe I take a shot on him. It's also does he stick around as a starter or as a high snap count player?
Yeah, and Harvey was extremely productive and very explosive. Sean's going to use a running back by committee approach. He always did. When Alvin Kamara was great, he still had Mark Ingram there. And these players are not as good as Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, so you can't just paint that over here. But I could see those being the situation where both of these players, J.K. Dobbins being a double-digit round pick, probably is a good pick there. R.J. Harvey going ahead of him, probably still a good pick with that explosiveness, and I anticipate more work in the receiving game.
Just to put, I said dominator rating. The rating I was referring to was Genty was number 1 in college football in yards created per attempt. Harvey was 2. So ahead of Hampton, Judkins, Henderson, Caleb Johnson, Scattaboo, all those guys. He did have it wasn't an expectation that he was going to be the most heralded running back pick coming in.
Right.
But Sean Payton fancied him.
Yeah, they did. They were targeting him. In fact, he said, if you watch the press conferences after the draft, they loved Genty. They wanted Gentry, but they quickly realized he's never going to fall to him. And so then they were looking for the next running back that they really loved that was realistic they could get, and their target was R.J. Harvey. R.J. Harvey was coming off of 1,400 rushing yards and 16 rushing touchdowns, followed by 1,500 rushing yards and 22 rushing touchdowns. This is a good back. He's older, so in dynasty leagues you can have arguments about, like, okay, maybe
Pays for his own insurance.
right, yeah, he can't be on mom and dad's insurance no more. He's 24, right?
Let me ask you a simple
He's renting
question.
so many cars.
They play Tennessee, Indianapolis, the Chargers, and Cincinnati to start the season.
Oh, that's nice.
When you play after those 4 weeks, which word do you think is going to be more easily associated with their backfield? Frustrating or exciting?
Exciting.
I think exciting. Let's say this ADP holds of Harvey, or like back of the six, which we were just talking about Isaiah Pacheco being right around there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you
Couple
going,
picks ahead. I would rather have Harvey.
Yeah, I would be there too. And then shift to the wide receivers.
Sutton, Mims.
Cortland Sutton had the big year. I mean, he was a big year of touchdowns, really. But for Bo Nix as a rookie to put up 3,700 and almost 3,829, like that is very exciting for his future moving forward. Again, especially when you factor in the first month of not really letting the offense run through Bo Nix. So
Sutton feels safe.
He
He feels very safe to me.
Yeah.
Really?
Very safe.
I don't.
You can't. He's such a leg above all their other pass catchers in both the pecking order and experience and size to me, Bo Nix cannot have the season we all expect from him without Cortland Sutton being a very, very safe option. Not flashy, but I think safe.
Yeah, it's
Kyle
fair.
says he's a Ford Taurus.
I agree. I think he is.
Okay.
Look, we're gonna get where we need to go.
That's right.
No one, when we get out of the car, no one's like, "Hey, sweet ride, man." But we got there, and we all got there safely.
I don't know if I want him to be a Ford.
Where I was shifting the conversation to is, let's project an increase here for Bo Nix. We get over 4,000. We're flirting with the 30s of touchdowns. Someone else has to.
Someone else has to.
Someone else has to. So.
Oh,
so
Troy Franklin out of nowhere.
And okay, you can make your case
Something
for
about hitting a button and then acting like you didn't hit the button. That tickled me right there.
What? Where I am looking at it is you got Troy Franklin, who fell massively in the draft. He finally got on the field and did some things. Marvin Mims, despite what Sean Payton says about him, continues to be I don't want to call him a gadget player, but I will call him a side, like a bit player.
He's a side hustle.
Let me just say that because I saw the news report yesterday. I'm looking at it right now. There are reports right now from the Denver Post saying that he is emerging as the number 2 option.
Mims.
That would be awesome because he can do it. He should have already emerged because when you put the ball in his hands, he's very good, and they just don't.
Stuff happens.
They don't put the ball in his hands enough, and
But then
you also have
as the wide receiver 6, 4, and 6 in 3 of the final 5 weeks.
Yeah, and
he
on no snaps.
He averaged on the season, which he appeared.
We don't talk about season. Sorry,
he appeared
5 game samples
in every game. And he averaged 27% of the snaps, despite Sean Payton continually telling us how he is. Man,
it jumped to 37% over the final 5 weeks, on pace for 1,200 yards and 17 touchdowns.
I don't know what to do with Sean Payton and all of the gum flapping because I want to.
The gum flapper is right.
I want to use this argument of he was like, he says all these things to Marvin Mims, but you know what? Then he did say rookie Pat Bryant. Who they just drafted, who after
day 2 pick, round 3.
After they got done gushing about how stoked they were to get R.J. Harvey, which a reminder for people, Omarion Hampton
on the board
was on the board for their pick. They
for their first round pick.
Their first, yeah. I'm not saying this, but in the first, if they had Hampton ranked so much higher than R.J. Harvey, I imagine they would have taken him. But then their other day 2 pick was Pat Bryant, who Sean Payton gets on the podium and he starts talking about Michael Thomas as his comp for Pat Bryant.
Yeah, he can say whatever he wants.
This is what
freaking Marvin Mims.
This is where I'm like I'm getting to this of like I don't know, Sean Payton. Do we trust this guy?
That's why I say Cortland Sutton, and then just if you need a spot start, see what's happening during the year. You're not drafting Mims, Franklin, Bryant, or Vele. especially with Ingram now taking a target share. And look, what they spend their first-round pick on.
Cornerback.
Yeah. This was a team that was already an elite defense. I think maybe Sean Payton wanted to run the ball a little bit more than he could last year.
Yeah.
So it's not that that's your pathway to being slightly disappointed with Bo Nix as a value later in the drafts. The pathway is you can finally run and you have the best defense in football, maybe. I mean, they were number 1 in EPA per play, per pass, 3rd in EPA per rush, 3rd in rushing yards given up, 7th in total yards given up, and they drafted a first-round corner. So if you need the path of maybe, like, nobody wants that path, but if you need the path to being a little disappointed in the offense or maybe slight regression or maybe just neutral performance by Bo Nix where you're just like, oh, he didn't take the step forward, but they won 12 games, that's your path.
Yeah.
All right, the Raiders are the final team we're discussing today on this fine Saturday.
And they're not bad.
They had a projected win total of 6.5 last year. It's 6.5 again this year. They went 4-13. They were one of the worst offensive teams that we've had to cast eyes upon, especially once Devontae Adams departed. 29th in points per game, 27th in yards per game. But don't worry, they also gave up a ton of points. It was one of those things where it's like, that's just like a bad team. So they replaced their head coach and their offensive coordinator.
And their quarterback.
And their wide receivers, some of them. And
their running backs.
Yeah, Pete Carroll, hello. You're back. You're 74 this September. But you're like 54 in the heart.
How many
Kid at heart.
How many primetime games do the?
Oh, do you think he'll be snoozing?
Yeah, I'm very
man.
concerned.
Can you do a sideline? I mean, there's no rules. You can't have like a rocker, like a lazy boy.
That'd be
you can
neat.
lazy boy.
They probably
You can't
don't
get out of the way.
They probably don't want it that big. You're gonna have to have more sleek wood rocking chair.
Yeah, just like a Cracker Barrel little
You want one of those?
rocking chair.
Just for
get him
between.
some
It's
knitting.
just over there whittling.
Yeah.
No, it'd be popping bubble gum and doing backflips. That's what Pete Carroll does. He's young at heart. Chip Kelly coming in on the offensive side of the football. They brought in a quarterback, so they have one now. Geno Smith, traded for him, who's been effective a lot over the last handful of years. They draft Ashton Genty, just fixing your running back room in one fell swoop. Now you spent the 6th pick in the draft to do it. Raheem Mostert will back him up. They drafted Jack Besh in the 2nd round. Deonta Thornton. I got to get that in there, Jason, for you. That in's for you. Thornton Jr., a big boy and a speedster. Yeah. And they said goodbye to Madison and Terrace Marshall and Gardner Minshew, so basically nobody. So I like all that. This division's brutal. They will not be projected to win any of the 6 divisional games that they play.
Correct. Which is why they are projected for 6.5 total wins.
Yeah.
But the team is not terrible. The offense. I mean, you've got Max Crosby on defense. That's going to help.
What tickled you?
They are not terrible.
Yeah, they're
which is a step up for Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, they won 4 games last year. I don't know if I'd take the over or under on the 6.5 this year, given this division, but I think they'll be in games. And the nice thing about Ashton Genty is, okay, you're going to be down, but he is a good pass catcher and will be involved. He'll be a 3-down back. So I don't worry about, oh no, maybe they're down the way that you would worry like with Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry were on this team, I'd be worried about Derrick Henry. I'm not worried at all about Ashton Genty and losing game scripts. They're just going to have to throw the ball to him a lot.
It's nice to have like Genty, super confident. You want him. It's going to be great. Bowers?
That's the discussion.
Is it? I was about to follow it up with the same sentence. After
you just now? Okay.
Super great. Super safe. Like, it's nice to have stalwarts in an offense, even when you have question marks elsewhere.
But it all comes down to the draft cost. So 202 is where he is right now. So that means he's going to be sneaking into the first round for a lot of fantasy football drafts. And I know, look, Brock Bowers. This is nothing against Brock Bowers. It just was I thought an interesting stat of Scott Barrett, friend of the show. Says in 18 seasons, so this is not a small sample, in 18 seasons as a head coach, Pete Carroll has never had a receiver clear 100 catches.
A tight end?
A receiver. So, like, just anybody catch 100 passes. And so
I did see that.
So that is it. Brock Bowers is it. There's no argument here. The dude came out and he's already an elite tight end. So it's just the offense that Pete Carroll will be a part of. I know Chip Kelly's the OC and everything. It's just, will Brock Bowers be able to break that? Because if you're drafting him at the back of the first or the early second at the tight end position, you really need that to happen.
I mean, 18
Baldwin,
years.
94 receptions.
I know, 18 years. I know, it's wild, though. 18 years is such a sample.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'll bet you anything you want that he has 100 receptions. I'll bet you anything.
Okay, that was the question.
I'll bet you anything he does.
Okay. You have been betting your life a lot lately.
I mean, look, if you make enough bets with your life, there's a chance that one cancels the other
Do you
one
get
out.
2 lives?
No,
I
You
can
win
but
those bets?
I don't think the bookie will take the second bet.
They all get added up at the very end, and then you see what side you're on, and then it's to the
Yeah.
gallows or to
Or
to the grocery store because I'm alive.
to the grocery store.
That's the
Oh,
first
yeah,
place
you're
you go.
alive. You got to eat.
Let me just say, Bijan Robinson is guaranteed to stay healthy all year long.
He is.
He's so safe. I'm looking at Deuce's Alley, and Matt is dying over there. What do you think of that comment, Matt? Is it the kind of comment you would make here on the show?
No, not at all.
Why is that?
Because Bijan should play all 17 games.
Because
And
you're afraid.
I'm a little scared. I did just trade for him in Dynasty too.
Oh,
so
no.
what about you, Papa Josh? Did that instill
Josh already-
confidence?
I'm for it, man. I like Jason making these bold claims.
You have Josh on your side,
Oh,
just for the
shoot.
Yeah,
record.
except Josh
I don't
already.
like
I don't know
this.
if you saw it come through. Josh and Jeremy have a $20 bet now that Bijan's going to be hurt by
Oh
week
no,
6.
they do not.
For the record, I'm betting for him to stay healthy. Josh
Okay.
is betting on his demise.
I'm betting on
Smart man,
Jason's
Al.
bad juju in the universe now. So
You remember when Bijan didn't he miss one with the migraine?
Yes, but he
Oh,
didn't
man.
miss
Oh, no.
the game.
No, he took
He
took
played.
a snap or two.
Yeah, he
Was that
played.
an Arthur Smith?
Yeah.
I think he
conundrum?
took a snap in the 4th
Yep.
quarter.
Yeah.
It was like, get him in.
Oh, man.
That pissed me
Don't
off
do it.
so much.
Yeah, we need to not talk about that day.
So we like Genty, we like Bowers. We have the most Ford Taurus wide receiver in all the land, Jacoby Myers,
Yes.
who is just a good player. He's not a fast player. He's not an explosive player. He's just a good player. Possession receiver. He was 30% of the Raiders' first read targets. That's higher than T. Higgins. That's higher than Brian Thomas Jr. And you improve at quarterback. So to me, Jacoby Myers, I don't even like saying it because it's just not a cool take. It's not cool. But I'll just say, like, he's going to be better than his draft position. That's probably going to be the outcome.
But probably doesn't matter. I don't know that. I mean where he's going. If you're in a double flex league, he's the wide receiver 40, so he's just a depth piece.
The wide receiver 24 fantasy finish with no quarterback last year tells me he might matter a little bit. When injuries start happening, I mean, to finish at 24 is just it just feels like that's really like people should pat him on the back for what that team had last year.
I have no doubt that he will finish better than wide receiver 40. We're in complete agreement there. And anyone who's going to be, a top 36 wide receiver is an important flex play, a double flex, an injury, a bye week. Like, that's just nice to have on a roster. I just also, when I'm in the draft, I'm trying to get someone that, even in the later rounds, I think could be, a top 15 wide receiver, can explode onto the scene or something. And I don't know that that's in the range of outcomes.
Yeah, I mean, it's if I draft him, I guess I know that I can play him if I need to.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about him. And
I'm on your side, Andy.
I love him in like a dynasty league where you don't have waivers to go get. 'Cause I think Jacoby Myers will be on waivers at points in the season.
And other than that, you're already talking about 4th, 5th, 6th options at this point with the rookies and with Trey Tucker and company. So that's kind of like those other guys on Denver where you're just going to kind of get a feel. Maybe training camp tells us more, but you get a feel for those guys to start the year, and it's just hard to bet on Geno supporting a 4th option at great fantasy value. But
yeah, but Geno can support 2 guys. And I'm not talking about Genty. I'm talking about Brock Bowers and Jacoby.
that's how it seems right now.
Jacoby feels like
Is he final year of contract?
I would have to
I
check
feel
that.
like he might be. Kyle, do you know that offhand?
He is final year.
So that could be something to pay attention to if they do decide to trade him or move on from, build for the future.
He feels like Darnell Mooney felt last year to me.
Okay.
Of just a player who's like in the double-digit rounds, and watching him on tape, you go, this player still has it, and now he has Geno, who is an accurate quarterback, who everyone loving JSN last year. Geno was throwing him the ball. So I think I think there's room for some upside. I'm not saying
They're
top
going to
15.
they're going to be losing a lot of games,
but
with that defense, and so maybe you throw the ball a ton.
Jacoby and finishing inside of the top 30 would not be surprising to me.
Well, yeah, with the addition of Geno and him doing it last year, I think you're right. First 4 matchups: New England on the road, Los Angeles at home, Washington on the road, Chicago at home.
Okay,
it's not so bad. Here we are. We got to predict the division. Are you going to break the mold? Are you going to break the 9-year streak?
Come on, Jay.
I'm breaking the mold. I've got the Chargers winning the division, followed by the Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders.
I'm breaking the mold.
Oh,
I am going to pick the Broncos to win the division. I'm going to take the Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders.
You guys are so dumb. The Kansas City Chiefs will win the division.
Yeah, no, go for it. Go for it.
No,
for the record, the odds right now, I mean, the Raiders are plus 2,000. They're like they're in outer space odds wise, but the Broncos and Chargers are only plus 300 and plus 310. They're basically tied and not that far behind the Chiefs.
So the Chargers were 15th. Broncos are 14th.
Yeah, the schedule's not going to help you.
So you're taking the Chiefs.
I'm taking the chalk, man.
So
Chiefs.
you're going Broncos then?
I'll go Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders.
All right. By the way, I'm just asking because I don't know how the fantasy gods and luck and rules and whatever Jason did with Bijan works scientifically. If someone guarantees he gets hurt on the show, would that counter affect his guarantee of health?
Oh,
yes, that would absolutely.
So I'm getting nods from Deucer Zelli. Anybody back there want to be
that guy?
You want to be the guy that guarantees the injury?
Bijan gets injured?
No.
Oh, I thought Papa Josh for sure was hopping in.
No,
All right.
nobody wants to do it.
All
right, the curse remains.
There ain't no curse. He's staying healthy.
Oh, sweet mercy. All right, we're shutting the show down. Thank you for tuning in.
Put him on the cover of Madden. I'm not scared.
You're probably done mowing your lawn, so go get the Ultimate Draft Kit at ultimatedraftkit.com. Check out the community at jointhefoot.com. We'll catch you later.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.